there are a few epic position battles that I legitimately don't know how they're going to play out.
In the world full of podcasts, he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of hot takes, an Auburn sports homer, master of the boog, and message board legend. Get your buttons buttoned and your hats flattened because the Top Button Podcast is about to kick off. And you don't want to miss your courtside seat. Now, here's your host, Charlie Five.
Yes, sir. We're back. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Rush, a.k.a. Charlie Five, and we are ready to get after it. As this fall camp has rolled along, there's some times where you feel like you got a grasp on things when you kind of have an idea of how the depth chart's going to play out, and then the next day comes around and it totally flips you on your head. There's a couple of big-time position battles that we're going to be talking about that legitimately could go either way. I don't think there is 100% a favorite quite yet. We're going to dive into each one of those, and we got to start it, to me, the biggest headliner battle, I think, because all of the ones that we're going to mention, there's some really good players duking it out. But there's some big names in this one throughout spring and last year, playmakers. I got to go with corner. This number 2 corner is shaping up to be an epic battle between Rayshawn Pleasant and Gavin Jenkins. There's been times, I think, with both now where you're like, that guy's the number 1. Gavin Jenkins exploded onto the scene in spring, and then seemingly at the beginning of fall camp, had sort of like planted his flag. Hey, I'm the guy. And I think we have done multiple shows now where we talked about all of his first team reps and things like that. And you feel really, really solid about that being the case. And then boom, all of a sudden, right here before the second scrimmage, Rayshawn Pleasant has creeped his way into getting a lot of starting snaps. He started in the scrimmage. He was the number 1 guy that looked like a pretty solid starting lineup. The 2 practices prior, this thing's going back and forth, and it's kind of cool, the dynamic, because you have a really young guy, and then you have a senior that's played a lot of football, a senior that had some big plays on the big stage last year. Everybody remembers that Arkansas game where, Auburn seemingly took control and then kind of gave back control and then needed some big plays there at the end of the game. And he comes up with 2 interceptions. One of them he returned for a touchdown. So not to mention, the return stuff is not really related to corner, but just goes to show you what kind of player and what kind of impact he has. I really don't know who comes out on top here. And it may be a scenario, or it may be a situation, and me and Zach and I kind of talked about this. It may be a situation to where, number 1, whoever goes out first doesn't really matter. Whoever goes out first, it literally could be a 1A, 1B situation. Whoever goes out first doesn't necessarily mean they're going to play the most snaps. It could be a snap rotation thing. And with Rayshawn doing some other things, with Rayshawn doing, the kick, he was the number 1 kick returner in the first scrimmage. With him doing those other things, it may be wise to spell him at times. It may be wise to try to keep him fresh, because if you think about it, when do you receive a kickoff? You receive a kickoff typically after you've been on the field on defense for a while, unless it's opening a half. But after the opposing offense scores, they're going to kick it back to you. Well, you've been on defense this whole time. So can you be quite as effective if you're fully in the game, playing corner, and then turn around and have to receive a kick? I don't know the answer to that. I do know this. Both of these dudes can play. And both of these guys are really, really good for each other. And it's a really good spot to be in versus it's a good spot to be in when you have two guys that could be starters duking it out versus two guys fighting to try to find a starter, to try to see which one can start. Where this is, to me, based off everything I've seen, based off everything I've heard, based off of everything when you talk to people around the program, both of these guys are SEC level starters. And so you're just trying to figure out which one's the best. I do wonder sometimes if it's close, do you look at things that are outside of just on the football field? Do you look at things like the intangibles, like leadership, like potential locker room impact, seniority? I mean, that's another thing that you could look at. Hey, this is his last chance. I know that a lot of people look at things, or a lot of people look at Golesh and think that those type things don't matter. And I think that's a little bit of a knock on Golesh, because I think he's so cerebral and so thinking about all of the little things that all those little things that we just mentioned, they actually do matter, especially when you're building chemistry, like when you're trying to build a culture. Like, the little things matter. The way you do things matter. It's all ball, but there's a lot of things that factor into ball, if you understand what I'm saying. Like the chemistry in the locker room, it could be anything. Those things matter. And those things are the difference in the razor thin margins that you see, especially in the SEC conference games, conference matchups. I don't know which way this one's going to go. I'm excited. We got practice today. We'll get to see, when they run out there and do their pursuit drills and things like that on the defense, we're starting to get a more clear idea of that starting lineup. I don't know. I don't know how much else that we'll get to really tell, but I'm going to lock in on corners a little bit today and see everything that I can possibly see as far as this battle goes, because it's going to be a good one. And I legitimately have no idea which way it's going to go. We're going to talk offensive line, and we're going to talk about this war that's just getting more exciting at slot receiver. But before we do that, we want to give a quick shout out to Prize Picks, new sponsor. It's a scorching sports summer, and you can make all of your picks on Prize Picks. Women's basketball and baseball are heating up. Football preseason is here, and with big tennis slams and big golf tournaments on the horizon, there's no better place for all your summer sports picks than Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app. But for me, this time of year means one thing: Auburn football is close. We spent this whole offseason talking about Alex Golesh, Byron Brown, this new look Auburn roster, and what this team could become in 2026. And Prize Picks gives me another reason to follow every single snap once the Tigers kick off. I can pick more or less on player stats, combine those with game winners, projections, or totals, and follow everything right in the app. One lineup, one app, all the picks. And Prize Picks is now available in all 50 states, including Alabama, California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $150 instantly in lineups if you win your first $5 lineup. That's right. Download the app today, use code CLNS, and get $150 instantly in lineups if you win your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, America's #1 sports pick app. Also got to give a quick shout out to buyauburn.com. Be who you say you are. Do business with Auburn people everywhere. For Auburn business owners, it's less than $1 per day, and you get the chance to have your brand associated with this website that's broadcasted to thousands of Auburn listeners every single day. And if you're an Auburn listener, Auburn fan, do business with Auburn people. It's that simple. When you start a purchase, looking for a service, the only place you can guarantee it's going to be an Auburn person is starting at buyauburn.com. We'll be back right after this. Offensive line, for the most part, we feel like is pretty solid. There is the left guard spot that I think is still sort of up for grabs. At left tackle, you can pretty much write it down. It's going to be Joseph Simmons. I think he's probably having one of the more steady summers. It's not summers. I guess it is technically still summer. Summer and falls, fall camps. Boy, the people that say it's summer camp are going to have fun with that one. That one's going to be clipped. Having a great fall camp, probably one of the better fall camps of any offensive lineman. I don't think you have any battle or potential change there whatsoever. The biggest battle is going to be behind him, and I legitimately don't know exactly who that be. They're really working Parker Pritchett. You saw the video of them being really tough on him because they need him. It's that simple. They need him. I'm going to skip left guard because we're going to end on that one. Centers, Cole Best. Clearly, it feels like that one's a lock. They do have to get the snap stuff figured out. I don't know what to attribute that to, but that's got to get figured out. Cale Ellis is going to be right there if needed, and then Bear McOrder's also taking some snaps at center, so we'll see what happens there. Right guard really seems like it's going to be Cole Skinner. Jack Lair could make things interesting from Stanford. They rotate quite a bit. And then right tackle, I don't think Stanton Ramil had the best scrimmage on Friday. Wilson Zaire has gotten some first-team reps. There may be a battle there. I don't think so. Feels like it's still going to be Stanton, even if you had a bad day, unless it becomes something really, really serious. But the big battle is at left guard, and the battle is very, very similar, I think, very similar to the corner battle in that I think either one of these guys could be effective starters. I don't think it necessarily is they're trying to figure out who sucks the least. Like, I think both of these guys could be dudes that can help this team. Jacob Strand, the revelation of him being healthy has been very, very exciting to see. Kind of almost forgot he was a human there for a while because he was non-contact all spring. Have seen him get second-team reps at left tackle, seen him get first-team reps at left guard, and most recently starting, I believe, in the scrimmage. And it's kind of shocking because it's been the Derek Platt show for the whole entire spring. And then I would say at least the first half, maybe the first 3 quarters of, a fall camp. There's so many, and when I say question marks, I don't mean question marks on the guys on the offensive line. There's so many question marks for fans, and it may not be even question marks. It may just be so many concerns when it comes to fans and offensive line and scar tissue and things of that nature over the last, gosh, I can't even remember how long. But it feels like it's really crazy, the effort and the attention to detail and the different combinations and things like that they have so hard, like so intense put the effort in to build out not only that starting five, but the depth behind it. You heard Hoodie last week talking about how their number one priority seems to be building depth at tackle. They feel pretty confident about their starting tackles, but the depth at tackle, because that's very important. These guys are going to get banged up. A lot of guys that can help us. It's just about finding the right combinations in that starting five and finding the right combinations behind that. And really, I think they got it for the most part figured out, except for left guard. But I think the left guard, that's no cause of concern. It's a good thing. Let them battle. Let them battle, baby. And talking about battles, I know the corner battle may be the marquee battle. And the only reason I say that is because when you look at slot receiver, Chaz is going to factor into this some. Not 100% of the time, but he's going to play some slot. So it's everybody battling for what's left over. And guys, Deshaun Spencer is a dog. He is not giving up. He is not going to go away. Christian Neptune, I'm telling y'all, is going to be a dog. You're going to be blown away when you see how shifty this guy is. When you see what he can do after the catch. Very, very similar to Deshaun Spencer. It's different though. Deshaun to me is like super like slithery. Like there isn't a ton of like starting and stopping. It's a lot of like, I just run and I just move. I'm just able to move while I run in different directions. I can't do it. When I have to change directions, I have to start and then stop again. Okay. Whereas he can bend, he can turn, he can spin, he can do all these things while still seemingly running full speed. Whereas Christian Neptune can stop on the edge of a dime and start back up. You're going to be it's crazy. It's a different way to get from point A to point B, and both are very, very effective. And it may be that you can utilize both. But there's an all-out war going on at slot. And now you throw in this new wide receiver from Troy that's very intriguing, Trey Taylor from Crew Tractor. You throw in Trey Taylor, who's a big play waiting to happen. Again, scored a 44-yard touchdown against Clemson last year. He may be one of the faster players on the team. The minute he gets here, he's tiny. He's a small guy. He's 5'6", like 150 pounds, but he can absolutely jet. There is an all-out war going on at slot receiver, and I love it. I love it. Again, this is another battle where I think these guys, and I didn't even mention Bryce Kane, who caught a touchdown in the scrimmage, on Friday. Like, he's going to have something to say about it too. He's kind of like if you took the abilities of Deshaun Spencer and the ability to, change directions while still running full speed, and then the start and the stop ability, he can kind of do it all. I guess it's just about consistency and how bad do you want it, and can you go win it? All out war. I love it. Give me all the war. Give me so much war when it comes to position battles. I love it. Which one are you guys paying attention to the most? It's getting closer. It's getting closer, and I legitimately don't know in these three position groups that we mentioned, corner, left guard, and slot receiver, the pecking order. I legitimately don't know how it's going to shake out, and I think that's fun. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, hit that premium subscription. You can get all the bonus content. So much bonus content. We're going to have practice today, a practice viewing period, I believe. We have a practice viewing period today, so we'll go live around mid-afternoon, 2 o'clock-ish, kind of recapping that, have a little Q&A. I'll talk to as many people as I can today and have some information for you. So make sure you're there for that. And you got to be subscribed to be at the top of the list to, ask a question. Thanks again. We'll talk soon. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. Stay buttoned.
Thanks for listening, and drive home safely.